Yes! Hello, world! Your sisters are here, ready, open, and as fabulous as possible. These are your sweets, Makeda
and Melanie.
And you're now listening to Gurl.
What?
So, I'm back.
She's back.
And we start each episode off with a drink for the day. So, Melanie, tell us what our drink is.
Okay, so because we have some new people visiting our Gurl Cave, I just felt in my heart I wanted to introduce them to our special. And plus, I've been sick all weekend, so as much as I would love to drink some wine right now, tea is it. So
tea is it.
We are doing vanilla chai tea, which is a black tea. And you all know I add my little special cream, the Almond Joy. It makes everything taste so good. And so we add anything creamy and vanilla flavor, and it's that's kind of how the tea tastes, and it's hand-picked. It's a balance of exotic spices, and it's a natural marriage. And when you add a little bit of Almond Joy, it brings out the rich vanilla, creating a superb flavor sensation, sweet and spicy, all at the same doggone time.
Yummy, yummy, yummy. I'm sorry. I have to apologize because we started a little later than usual. Why? Because I was a part of Pumps, Pearls, and Politics. That is one of our events with our sorority Alpha, Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And I was a part of the actual planning process. Since now that I'm a new member,
a newbie,
they throw you into things and you don't really have much of a choice. Right. Yeah. So the funny part is I've been going to these events for the last 4 years. The first year, I went as an attendant. The next year, I was invited to be a speaker. So that was exciting. So the last 2 years, I was a speaker. Now I'm a new member, and they're like, we don't need you to speak.
They had that all in mind, baby.
Yeah,
you,
exactly.
You were on that panel last year?
Got it.
They already had that.
Understood.
That's how it works.
So I just wanted to share that with you because I've shared my enthusiasm of being a new member of this prestigious organization. And guess what? They just threw me in the back cave. Like,
that's what you do, Neo.
Yeah. And I think I made the challenge. Everyone said that they were really appreciative and they liked the event. This year was free.
That's good.
And I think it was important. I think we need to continue. The Connection Committee is like the political arm of the chapter. And so, because, I'm the political-ish person.
They had that already figured out.
Yeah, they kind of figured out. Yeah, that I could do that. Mm-hmm. But it was fun. And we talked about Obamacare. There's an author that played a piece of helping the legislation come to fruition. I'm putting all these words that is not really coming off my tongue.
Fruition.
Fruition?
It's fruition.
However,
whatever. They know what you mean.
Yeah, they knew what I mean.
It ain't scripted. Y'all know that.
I know. Daniel Dawes, his book is called 150 Years of Obamacare. Very insightful. I'm asking all of you guys to read up on it and take a listen or read because it was cool. I mean, there was a lot of things that I did not know when it comes to, how they were able to get health care, put in place. He went over the historical meaning of health care and all of its incarnations and how different presidents handled or was trying to address essentially having healthcare helping as many people as possible. Healthcare for all is ultimately the goal, right? Mm-hmm. But because we're so complicated,
with the lovely 45.
I wasn't even going to say nothing about him.
No, that's okay because we are. We're going to talk about it.
And so, that was, and so that was pretty interesting. There is so much that's gone on this week.
Yeah, we got.
I'm not going to.
No, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about everything.
I don't know if we can because I didn't put anything.
I got you.
Okay, there we go.
Quickly.
So,
because we had kind of started talking before we went live. So we gonna and then when I start talking, I'm sure something gonna hit your mind.
Of course,
there's a lot of foolishness that happened this week.
So much,
and we got to talk about it.
But I don't know if you would. I mean, we know that we have to take another moment of silence because there's been another shooting.
Let me check that off.
Another shooting at a church this morning, and from what I heard, officially 26 people confirmed
by a 26-year-old. But before we talk about it, and before we take the moment of silence, I want my guests to introduce themselves so we can have them join in on the conversation.
Yes.
So, who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Because I'm really, really excited to be here so much so I brought a special guest with me.
And we both.
So hello to the Girl What crew, everybody that's listening in. We are in the Gurl Cave and my name is Crystal Chanel. I'm the mistress of ceremonies. I host events and I run a marketing company. So I brought one of my clients with me who's gearing up for her big event, but I'll let her introduce herself.
Hello, everyone. I am Alexis, the Mademoiselle, Mademoiselle South Florida. I own two companies, Evolution Divas Intimates and Boss Talk Expo. I'm here with the lovely ladies here in the Gurl Cave, and it is gorgeous here.
Can y'all say girl what?
Girl what?
Love it. So, again, we appreciate you guys taking the time and coming. Mm-hmm. Again, this is a team effort. Mm-hmm. We are building. We are building by supporting. We are building by encouraging. Mm-hmm. And that's the basis.
Like I explained, those of you that were listening to the live feed on Facebook, we created this as, girl time, but also instead of complaining about South Florida and how we don't look out for each other and how we don't, cover each other and then not pull each other down, we decided, let's create a platform that offers the opportunity for people in South Florida that are doing things, powerful things and not negative things. Mm-hmm. This is a platform for us to be able to empower them and encourage them, and at the same time they're encouraging us and empowering us, because that's what at the end of the day, and especially in these times, that's what we need. We got to lean on each other like our parents did back in the day. And sometimes you got to scale back to focus on what's really important. Mm-hmm. And these are the type of things, maybe not a podcast because they didn't have like the electronics that we have, but back then that's what they would do. Go to somebody's house or go in a room and pray, or go in a room and gather together and come up with ideas of how to make things happen, or somebody trying to do something, that's all come together and help them become whatever it is they want to become. So that's, instead of being a part of the problem, we're trying to be a part of the solution.
Exactly. And through this podcast, listen, we are not journalists.
Nope.
We are not, we didn't study any
Actually, I did.
You did?
My minor was journalism.
Oh, okay. So
I did at FAMU. Yeah.
Well, then I take that back.
Communication. And my undergrad was in communication, but I didn't set out to be. Well, at one point I did. I'm lying, but that's how things come around.
Back.
Yeah. Right. Well, I just had in my mind I wanted to be the Jamaican Oprah.
Come on.
And then I also wanted to be a big power executive in the entertainment industry. I did have the opportunity of working with Luther Campbell for 3 years at his label, and that was quite an experience.
But let me tell you something. Most successful people, they didn't go to school for it.
Well, exactly. And so we've thrown ourselves and so we've thrown ourselves into this sphere to add a voice. We're not completely polished. We're just in here talking.
I'm going to say ain't. I'm going to say I'm the ratchet one. She's the proper one. I just say whatever.
I don't even know why she be.
When she's not here, then I try to, but I'm the one. Listen, Makeda like to finesse it I'm just going to
Say what it is.
come right to it.
I don't know how
So,
not to finesse it.
It's okay, but we balance each other, and we need that. So then that way, people like you will tune into the show, and people like me will tune into the show. And that's how it works.
Great.
So speaking of which, I'm going to be ratchet, talking about the lovely 45. And you could be polished if you want to.
If I want
Listen,
to.
I was trying to love this dude despite, because that's what God called me to do.
Oh, okay.
But dude, every week, you making it hard, man. Straight up. Every week. But guess what? The walls are closing in on this brother right now.
I know. Are we going to talk about any...
The first indictment on Monday?
Oh, Lord.
So
That
what
was
is-
this
what's
week, right?
happening?
Oh, gosh. Okay, so the FBI, the guy that's over the FBI, and you can throw out the name because
Mueller.
He, Monday, made his first set of arrests. And the people that he arrested are people...
And it's the arrest connecting to
The
Russia.
thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
the Russia investigation
Yes.
that's been looming over this administration.
Since
That they
the
keep
beginning.
talking
Yes.
about. They ain't got nothing to do with it, but
Right.
all the signs say you
Yeah,
got something to do with it.
Yeah. And now one has admitted that he lied under the oath of FBI, saying that he didn't have anything to do with it, or whatever his statements were lies. So he's admitted to the lies. And they are saying, well, there's accusations that there's a gap between when this guy was arrested. What's his name? Papalopoulos?
Yeah.
Papalopoulos, whatever.
Yeah, that guy.
Mhm.
Is the gap between when this man was arrested in July to when they're finally saying that he was arrested.
Yeah.
So they're, the rumors say that he could have potentially been wired. That's what they're saying.
Mm.
So at the end of the day, of course, the lovely is claiming, I don't know.
That he was a low level.
I don't know what you're talking about.
They say he was a low level volunteer. That is what he's claiming.
But well, you know how the lovely does it. Before he was claiming he was like an astute addition to the committee.
Right.
So at the end of the day, God don't like ugly man. This man can keep doing whatever he want to do. The walls are closing in. Let's say he finishes the presidency. That would be even worse. Because you finish and then you go out and get locked up.
Listen, his legacy is already problematic, right? And it's not getting any better. I don't know why he is not. You know what the thing is? I keep going back to he's been rewarded for bad behavior all his life.
Mm-hmm.
He don't know how to operate any other way. And because we kind of have a system where if you're wealthy, you can kind of do whatever you want to do and never have to face any punishment. So,
listen,
I
every
think,
time I see them, all I do is look at his wife. His wife looks like a zombie. She looks like she's like suffering. Like sometimes I catch her, she's like looking down at the ground.
Yeah.
This is not what she signed up for.
She didn't.
She
didn't
did.
sign up for this.
She knew what she had.
To be honest, with 45, I mean, I've heard the stories with the Russia and the guy Lafalusa, whatever we gonna call it.
Exactly.
And I have totally just tuned out from Trump. I really have, because he is an embarrassment, both on the local ground and internationally. He is, and he's a reminder of what we've allowed society to become.
Yeah.
I say that all the
even
time.
though we can't stand him, we see people like him every day,
Yes.
and we look the other way.
Yes.
Every single
And so
day.
now he's our leader, in quotes.
Yes, I totally
And we have to face it. And I think it's a wake-up call, at least for me, when I see things that are not right, to just say it to the person. Like, however you want to take it, you can take it. But I got to tell you, this is unethical, or this is not moral. And before we had, especially Gen Xers, we are the guilty generation of looking the other way. Because we so busy trying to get it.
Yep.
And it's not our fault, but we trying to figure out how to not do what the boomers did.
Yeah.
So we end up in this situation, and I just, every time I see him, I just shake my head, because he is a reflection of what
I
America
say
is.
the same.
Mm-hmm.
How many times I said
Yeah.
the same thing? He is just like somebody in our family.
It is.
Right.
Just on a smaller scale.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
Just on a smaller scale. And the sad thing is, we get so angry about what he does because he's white.
Mm-hmm.
Why you ain't mad about what we do to ourselves?
That part.
Okay.
That part.
We do the same thing, if not worse,
Right.
to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Every single day.
It's true.
Okay, so now the church.
Yeah, so, I mean, we just touched on it. 26 people confirmed dead.
By a 26-year-old.
By a 26-year-old. They're saying that this is a community of, like, the population is like 400 people. Like, everybody knows everyone.
It's a small town.
Wow.
And they're saying, I can't remember the name of the guy. My computer is acting a natural donkey fool. And, but they're saying that person, I don't think, is even from the community. So they don't really know what the motives are. He did die. He is one of the people that died. I think a local was also shooting back, might have struck him, and he died 2 counties over. Whether he was trying to escape, we don't know. And so, just a moment of silence once again, because life has been lost unnecessarily. Yeah. And
people trying to worship God.
Right.
It's the worst thing. It's the worst thing imaginable.
You're not safe nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
You're not
Nowhere.
Nowhere. Can't even go inside the church.
So let's just have a quick moment of silence.
Okay, so on that note, I gotta do it, Keita. I'm sorry. You probably gonna look at me like I'm crazy, but I gotta do it. I gotta talk about Tyrese. I gotta do it.
Yeah.
I got to. We were kind of talking about it before we went live. And I know, for some people, and I've said this before, some people don't understand. Like, I'm not the type of person that just cares about my own life. And it could be, too, that some of what's been going on with him kind of hit home for me. And it could be because I'm an educator and I see children that are affected by things like this. So it's like a bunch of different things. And so this man was live or recorded himself on social media, boo-hoo crying.
Yeah.
About him possibly not being able to see his child based on what his ex-wife was claiming he has done to his daughter. For some people, they don't like Tyrese. Tyrese is full of crap. He's always doing the most. He's always doing extra. When I look in that man's eyes when he was crying, that wasn't fake.
Yeah.
That man was toe up. And I know what it feels like to be toe up when you don't have a real support system. Because I know his relationship with his mom and his dad is very estranged. So I can only imagine. Who knows what I would do if I was in that situation. Especially when you know somebody lying on you and you know how much you love your child.
Right.
That would tear me up.
Exactly.
And there's nothing you can do. And you know in your gut this person is being spiteful.
Right.
You know it.
Our community needs to do better. On one end, we have to make sure that the child is protected, right?
Yes.
On the other end, like, I don't care how this child came to the world. There is a need for both parents.
Yes.
Right.
There is a need to figure out having a relationship with one another in order to raise that child. And it's not going to be perfect, and I know back in the day and even today, some women are still out there wanting to have babies, thinking they're going to keep these men. But guess what? A lot of that doesn't happen.
It doesn't.
And so now we have to deal with what we got.
Right.
We have to deal with what we have. And I was dating this guy quite a few years ago who I realized I could not continue to be with because he had no respect for his baby mother. And I kept expressing to him, like, I don't know this type of these people. And I was really shocked that he was even acting like that. And I'm like, at the end of the day, this child needs both of you. But if you don't even have enough respect for this person, like, I just saw the possibility if I were to ever have a child from this person, and if we go awry, you're going to come at me the same way. Like,
but here's the flip side. Listen, Tyrese is a good one. Because most men, all that foolishness, you lying, oh, I can't see my child, they're going to say, you know what? Keep your child. Because eventually, they will see you bitter because she's bitter because he remarried. I don't care what nobody say. The timing of it all. This little girl is not a baby. They've been divorced for a very long time. They've been divorced for years, back when he was popular. Mm-hmm. Okay? Now, all of a sudden, he's abusive. But yet, just 3 months ago, or however many months ago, when you took the little girl overseas, and she has his favorite artist that she likes, and Tyrese went on Instagram, if people say whatever they want to say, he did. And he reached out to people. Does anybody know a connection that I can be able to hook my daughter up to be able to meet this artist face to face? You sit in front and center with your daughter at the rock concert or whatever, and you cool with Tyrese then.
Right.
If he was abusive, he was abusive then.
Right.
But now, since apparently he's met this woman who now he decided, I want to take her seriously, and she's a praying woman. She's about her business. She got her own business. And you see, you can't run it no more. Now you want to bring up this and that. And I've seen pictures of the little girl with his new wife. You mad. And that's what a lot of women, that's what a lot of mothers do. Yeah. They mad. Get over it.
And that pushes a lot of men away.
Exactly. And a lot of men ain't a Tyrese.
Right.
Because I know one very, very well that ain't a Tyrese. Will say whatever. Because at the end of the day, I'm not finna fight you. Okay, that's what you want to do. Then you do that.
Right.
And at the end of the day, don't be mad if later on down the line, your child or your children don't see you.
Right.
Because you angry. Let it go. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, you ain't hurting nobody but yourself. And then try to coerce your daughter to tell a lie on her daddy. Yeah. He pinned her down. Really?
That's ridiculous.
Where the bruises?
That doesn't sound legit.
Where the bruises? Where they at?
And I think as a society, too, we got to be careful. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm a Tyrese fan, so for me, he can't do no wrong. I'm going to just be honest. Mm-hmm. But at the same token, when we see a man crying out, our immediate reaction to me should be the understanding that he want to hold his family together. He wants to, meaning his daughter. He want to be with his daughter.
Yes.
And why can't we honor that?
And not laugh at them. What we laughing at them for? That's why men feel like they can't be vulnerable.
Exactly.
Because we laugh at them. Why are we laughing? That's the right emotion. Yeah. That's his child.
Yeah.
But if a woman was crying, we'll be sympathetic.
We'll all be sympathetic. Yeah.
Come on, man.
We got to do better.
We got to do better.
We got to do better.
So I was like, man, whatever. I'm praying with you, Tyrese, because I know how chicks are. I'm not saying you perfect, but one thing I know you love your daughter. I don't know you, but I can tell you love your daughter.
Mm-hmm. Right. It's a beautiful journey he has taken us on and shared with us how much he loves his daughter.
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say about
Tyrese, we love you.
We love you, man.
We
support you and your wife. And she seems like she's a rider. She's a praying wife, and don't let nothing or nobody come between that.
Yeah.
And that's real. So
now you coming for the rock.
That's
another thing. But
what'd you say?
I said he came for the rock.
Yeah.
That's a whole
another. I mean,
because I like the rock too.
Everybody deals with their anger differently. And there are some things he needs to grow up. And I'll say this, like I shared on Facebook and Instagram. Sometimes, and I know even for me, it took me to be in dark places to realize, stop relying on people, places, and things, including your daughter. They are not your salvation.
No.
Rely on God.
That's true.
When you put all your faith in people and friends and family, you're going to be disappointed every time.
Right.
And God is trying to show you come see me.
Come to me.
Yeah.
Right.
Stop. You're going to be disappointed. They're going to let you down.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't feel you the way God feel you. They don't.
Right.
And unfortunately, some of us, we don't have mothers and dads that exist that are going to be that before, that's that normally that being that stands in between God. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He don't have that. So.
And on that note, we're going to stop talking about Therese. We're going to stop talking about the president. And we're going to start.
Power of networking.
Now, it's the power of networking.
This is why we're here.
This is why we're here. Man, how did you guys get started? What?
Somebody said amen. Oh, you like what I said, Tony? I feel you, boo.
So cool.
I know. Some people are trying to be interactive with this. Awesome. But, man, how did we get to this place? Like, the power of networking. How powerful is it? And how much do we still need to better ourselves and better network?
First of all, networking is like one of my favorite subjects because we don't oftentimes realize how much capital is in our relationships. We don't value that human gift. There's something that Melanie has, there's something that Makeda has, there's something that Alexis has, but because we are kind of trained culturally to not talk to each other, we miss out on that thing that could really take us from one set of income, one level of income to the next income bracket.
Right.
And so for me, it was priceless to learn it. And because, I didn't network. I went to college, FIU. I barely met anybody new. I made my one friend in high school. I stuck with her. And I just kind of went through life realizing that I was limited by what I could really do because I hadn't outgrown where I was from. Single parent household. My mother was on assistance and things like that. And so sometimes, depending on where we're from and how we're raised, we got to get out of wherever we came from.
Yeah.
We got and transition. And when I finally started to pick that up, it was because my back was against the wall. I was laid off from corporate America. I couldn't find a job. It was during the time where everybody was laid off. So I was just another laid off person. And so, with that being said, I had to figure out how to meet new people. You need a plug? Oh, sorry. I had to figure out how to meet new people, and that's the thing that carried me out of the situation I was in. And those new people will tell you things that your friends who are accustomed to knowing you may not tell you. Chris, I think you could host an event. I think you could do this for real. Come on, try it. They'll tell you some stuff, and they'll dig down on the inside of you and pull some stuff out of you. And luckily for me, in that process, I was able to take my hobby into something professional. And it was all about building a reliable and valuable network. So I try to tell my sisters, especially, but definitely brothers and sisters, how to do the same exact thing. Because when you build your network, then I got new people I can meet.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
Yeah, so it's just been a journey of getting out of my comfort zone and saying, hey, I'm Crystal. What do you do? And that's what it's been.
That's good.
Wow.
That's real good.
It's powerful. I mean, to share your power.
For me, how I got started, like she said, you just start talking and communicating with people. I mean, I would have girls' nights, slumber parties, and it always turned into adult night where we talk about conversations and stuff like that. So that's how I started with EDI, Evolution Divas Intimates. We went from there selling toys and then hosting private parties and meeting new people, meeting police department, their private parties, the DA, different things of that sort. And then I just took that and I took the money from that investment and then opened up another business, which was Boss Talk Expo, where it's more of like a trade show, where people could come and actually learn how to brand themselves, how to network, how to actually be a boss, just not be an entrepreneur and learning. You're going to also have some mishaps along the way. But with the mishaps, you have a group of people of your own kind that will be able to show you how to make the money and how to invest the money and to take that money from one direction to another.
I just had my old job. That's funny. Go ahead.
So that's how I got started, and with the networking and try to reach out to different people over the years.
Oh, it's in March. Okay.
Yeah.
So we gotta come. Maybe you can have us come cover your
That'd be great.
go live.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
But Art Serve, that's actually like my stumping grounds. I was the finance director for Art. Well, actually, the comptroller for Art Serve many, many years ago.
Wow. Okay, that's
So you know
awesome.
how?
Well, I don't. I'm sure
That's
things have
good.
changed since
Yeah.
I was there, but that was like after I worked at Belafonte Tacosi Center as the finance manager.
Mm-hmm.
I went there as the comptroller.
That's
So
awesome.
I'm very familiar with Art Serve. So yeah,
Okay,
maybe we
great.
could cover your
That'd be
event.
great. Yeah. We could definitely do that. Talk about it.
And then there you go, networking.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Right.
And that's kind of what happens. I mean, every time we have somebody on the show, and we feature somebody on the show, it's like, we touch base and they're like, oh, I want you to call this person, which is how you got here. Butterfly kind of told us, oh, y'all got to have Crystal on the show.
Butterfly was.
You got to have Crystal on the show.
Shout out to my sister,
I know.
Yes.
the queen, the legend, Butterfly.
I hope
Rebecca
she's
Bonds.
listening.
Yes.
But that's
I
how
just
it
saw her.
works.
Yeah.
When she was at the Pumps
Oh,
Pearls.
she-
Of course,
she-
she
Oh,
was.
yeah.
Yeah,
Of course
she-
she was there.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna put this on our calendar, and we will be there to do a live podcast.
That'd be
For
great. Yeah.
If there were succinct things as it relates to, because some people they know what networking is, they
Right.
really don't know what it entails.
Right.
So I don't know if you want to share your thoughts on precisely what it is and how you
How
you're
often
able
you
to-
have to go out,
Yeah.
like.
Mm.
Because
Well,
sometimes it gets overwhelming when you're trying
Yeah.
to be at everything and be a part of everything. Like, how do you manage it?
I'm gonna let you take that one.
Oh.
You always on the scene.
Well, you find your zone. You gotta first just go out and try it. You do want to be in different places and spaces that are out of your comfort zone. But for me, I think people don't realize how hard networking is for me. Like, I talk myself into the situation all the time. And so with that being said, I give myself tips. I'm like, okay, Crystal, make sure you have your business cards. Make sure you pass them out. Make sure you're interested in what the other person is doing. And I remind myself, it's just a hello, I'm Crystal, what do you do? Like, I try to keep it simple.
Mm-hmm.
There's people that have all kinds of funny things to say when you meet them. You'll find those super networkers. And I love that. But for me, because I'm just really saying it's okay to talk to someone. Some of us, and I like to talk specifically to the young lady who's sitting now. She got a great business idea, and she's like, I don't talk to nobody. I don't go out. I was raised to be seen and not heard. Some of us have those things, those hiccups that hold us back, and that was me. So I keep it very, very simple. And the key is, if you can't follow up with 10 people after the event, try not to meet 10 people at the event.
Exactly.
Meet your 3. Find a superstar in the room, or find a person in the room that has hair like you. I would naturally gravitate towards you, Makeda, at an event because you're a natural girl.
Mm-hmm.
So it's easy to strike up a conversation of, so how long you been natural? And we get to connect on something simple, because
Mm-hmm.
you also don't want to look like you're just out connecting without actually connecting.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, for me, it's a journey all the time, but it is where the goal is in the next person. So
I think me, it's like the opposite. Like, we can be somewhere, room full of bosses, millionaires, or entrepreneurs, and I'm that one girl that stands out because of my business, the industry, Evolution Divas Intimates, sex toys. And they'll be like, the whole room will get quiet. And they'll look at me.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of introducing yourself, everybody will come up to me instead of me going to them. And they'll secretly say, can I get your card? Can I
Because of your niche, yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, okay, can I call, or can I give them all the information versus me having to actually go up and walk to a person and say,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I'm such and such, and this is my business, this is what I do. Once I make that announcement, they come for every direction. They'll wait till that person leaves, and they'll come like, well, can I get your business card? I can't follow you on social media because, my work at the, but, I go on your website, but that type of thing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I got to ask Alexis, and do you find, well, is it easy for you to talk to people, or do you make it so that they definitely come to you?
I make it so that they can come to me. I find it easy to talk to people because I could walk in the room and I'll be like, hello. And if you don't say anything, I'll turn around and say, didn't I say good morning, hello? That's me. Like, you know, let's have a good day. You know, whatever it is, just to brighten and make that person smile.
Yeah.
Because you never know what a person may be going through.
Yeah.
So either way it go, I make it try to invitable for everybody.
I like that. And that's all good when you find whatever helps you to get through this networking thing. You know, because for some people, it's just as intimidating as public speaking.
Absolutely.
So, you know, whatever works for you, whatever your niche is, you find that, and people will like that about you, whether it's just having a pretty smile or having something cool like sex toys.
Right.
But, yeah, because I know that was important for me, being able to talk to you about exotic stuff.
Right.
Like, she's my go-to. I'm like, well, how do you use this? Or you know what I'm saying?
My goodness.
Right.
So, it's a lot of fun.
Right, and I have a lot of people that ask me, how do you transition from being in the adult industry to being to a trade show, expo, and stuff? I say, well, I have both ends of the quality. Just because I'm an adult doesn't mean I don't have the quality to run a business in the trade show.
Yeah.
You know, I have the experience. I have the degree behind it. It's just that you didn't get to see that side. First, you got to see the wild side before you got to see the settled side. So it went kind of backwards. So, you know, a lot of people see the difference in between.
So, how did you decide on that industry? Like, give me some of your background.
The adult industry, I guess it came from like the girls' nights and me always saying, what can we do to open up more of a pleasure into just to having just the old traditional way. It got to be more of a feeling. You know, it's all just, you know, on your back or whatever. It's more extra stuff to it. You have a lot of women who never had an orgasm. You have a lot of men that don't know how to please a woman or how to do certain things in the bedroom. So I came and I started reading, researching, and got more and more familiar with it, hanging in places I didn't have no business.
But it had to be something you were interested in.
I was very curious. So a curious, you know, mind lead to other things. And it went from there. I said, you know, I could do this. I could really do this. And then I started having conversation with no hesitation. And it just went from there. So.
Cool.
That is cool.
I mean, I think, and I always say this, when someone decides to start a business, I think it's very important. Don't do it for the money.
Right.
Especially when, okay, for instance, I'm a teacher. That's like my main hustle. And I think I've talked about this on a previous show. People ask me too, how are you a teacher and a decorator and a tutor? Because it works for me. And because the other things, it's not that I don't like teaching. I love teaching. I don't necessarily like all the paperwork and all the politics that come behind it. If I could just walk in and just teach and just, you know, really be able to just teach and not all the other stuff, I probably would be madly in love with it.
Right.
I love it, but at the same time, it always feels like work to me. So I encourage people, when you decide to pursue a business, try to pick something that doesn't feel like work. Like this podcast, it don't feel like work. We just sitting here having a conversation. Something that most women would love to just, you know, have a period in the week where you could just sit down and talk to girls away from the hustle and bustle.
It's true.
So it don't feel like work. Decorating doesn't feel like work to me at all. Tutoring feels like work because that's an extension of what I do for a living. I do it. I'm good at it. But when I'm doing it, I still feel like I'm working. Decorating, I can get lost. It's 3 a.m. and I done forgot what time it is.
Exactly.
So I encourage you, when you choose a business, do something that doesn't feel like work, where you're not conscious of the time. And when you do network, it's not extra that you gotta like sell yourself, because it's really coming from your heart and it's something that you really love to do. So it just comes naturally. You don't even have to think. Like if you ask me about decorating, I might not know all the little terms or whatever, but I could tell you what looks good, what doesn't look good, in layman's terms.
Right.
I know how to get the best deal for your buck. I could take a room that you don't think and turn it into something that's nothing and turn it into something. So just do something that comes naturally.
And I wish y'all could really see the Gurl Cave, because when we walked in, we were blown away.
Yes.
Glitter everywhere, bling everywhere, metallic. I mean, chandelier, just cuteness on top of cuteness. It feels like we walked in to Gurl Cave Nation.
Right.
And I love it. I love the essence in here and the energy too.
Well, that's what we're trying to go for. Yeah. The whole, it just makes you feel
girly,
happy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And girly.
I'm really girly right now, but...
Oh my God. And if you can only imagine, we're down to our last 4 minutes.
We have 4 minutes left.
Wow.
I know.
And we have enjoyed y'all so much. And I tell all of our guests, anytime you want to come hang out, even if it's not you on the show, and you just be like, man, I want to just go hang out in the Gurl Cave, and you just want to sit in,
we here.
hit us up. We here every Sunday, 7:30. We're here.
So I want to make sure that Chanel and Alexis promotes whatever it is that you have going on. We're going to continue to have further discussions about these topics because it's important. And, at some point we'll probably expand the show if we can. Yeah. And we're going to do your event. Yes.
We'll be there.
Yes. So, Chanel, go take it away.
You know what? First, I just got to say thank you to you ladies for doing this. I think it's amazing. I think you found a loophole and you turned it into something great. And we get a chance to see how much we really do support each other. Like I say, shout out to my sister Butterfly. Yes. Love her to pieces. And the power of networking. Beautiful, beautiful topic. We could talk about that all day. But I run a marketing company, so I have several clients that I do marketing for. And right now we are getting really excited about Laughing on the Green. It's a comedy show happening December 9th. It's featuring Damian Williams, Coco Brown, Rodney Perry, and it's hosted by Howie Bell. And there's a pre-show for local artists if you want to perform. I'm going to be hosting that pre-show, so we would love for you to come out. And it's going down in Lauderhill, but you can follow me on Press Release Marketing on Facebook, and everything I do is posted there or go to the website.
Thank you.
Yes, okay. And guys, we have the event coming up, which is the 2nd annual Boss Talk Building on Social Success Talk Expo. That'll be held March 10, 2018 at the Art Serve in Fort Lauderdale. To find out more information, you can visit the website at www.bosstalkexpo.com or follow us on Facebook at Boss Talk Expo or Boss Talk Expo on Instagram.
All right.
This was awesome. And like I said, we can get lost in all of these different subjects. And I know it didn't feel like no time, but when you're having fun, time just flies. And we've just been go. And we so appreciate you guys again. Such a blessing for having a moment of intimacy.
And we got a few minutes, so we always end up closing and not shouting ourselves out.
I know.
Shout yourself out.
So as many of you guys know, I'm a breast cancer survivor. October is over, but there are more events to come. If you guys are interested in having me speak at your event, I am working on doing a college tour. And so you can reach out to me via email, MakedaMcClune@gmail.com. And I'm on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, @MakedaMcClune. On top of that, I am doing political fundraising for candidates. Had a great year. Looking forward to 2018 and other opportunities soon to come.
And I am the ratchet one. Mrs. Mel Shin. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Mel Shin. That's like my personal page. I do have a joint page with my husband to promote our business, Team Shin Enterprises, which is about empowering purpose and people. Like I said, I tutor. I'm like almost completely booked. Team Shin tutoring. And I decorate. That's my baby. That's the thing that I love to do. So hit me up, Shin Chic Decor, And we are Gurl What?
We
you
are.
can find us on social media.
Exactly.
iHeartRadio.
Thank you so much for giving, allowing us in your space to share.
1:16.
Yes.
Quickly. For by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him and for him.
And you have now been in tune with Gurl
What?